Hello, and welcome to my presentation on intercultural communication, collaborative writing, and document control. My name is Jordan Heltz, and I am excited to be presenting to you today. So just a quick little introduction to my presentation. Intercultural communication, being able to collaborate with others and effectively organizing a document are very valuable skills in the workplace. This presentation will be based on Chapter 8 of our textbook, Writing in the Technical Fields, titled Intercultural Communication, Collaborative Writing, and Document Control. I have selected three principles that relate to these topics that I think are the most important. And as you listen to this presentation, hopefully you will find some principles that you will find very helpful as you collaborate with others for our upcoming group project assignment. So the first principle is intercultural communication. So here we are in intercultural communication. The principle I selected was mindfulness, openness, and engagement. When we're working with others, it's very important that we're mindful and actively curious about other people's cultures. This helps us to keep an open mind and allows us to be a little bit more willing to work with others who have different viewpoints than we do. So it's important that we are attuned to the personal differences of our group members and those around us. This is all about listening properly to. It's all about listening properly to other people. Listening is a very critical skill, especially in the workplace and when we're working with others. So we need to always be open to other people's perspectives of viewing and doing things that may be different than what we would do ourselves. Going a little bit further into this topic, people might say or do things differently based on their cultural and personal backgrounds. So it's our job to understand that different cultures have different communication styles and that we need to make sure that we're not letting these different communication styles offend us in our work while we're working with others. A good tip to help with that is to always first assume that people in our group are working to accomplish the same goal that we are working to accomplish and that they are not intending any disrespect. It's very important to take note of these cultural differences and work within them to help bring out the best in all of our group members. Leadership skills are very, very important. And I think if we all demonstrated that, we'll be able to work much more effectively as a group. So the next principle we'll be getting into is collaborative writing. So when we're working together as a group, it's always important that we assign tasks and set timelines. It's important that we assign sections and tasks to individuals within our group, and that these tasks should be based upon the interests and expertise of our group members. That we tailor these tasks to their unique skill sets, and all group members should share an equal workload. It's also important that as a group you decide and set a realistic timeline for when you want to have your project completed. A good tip to keep in mind is to have the timeline for finishing your project be several days before the deadline. So that way it gives your group ample time to revise and edit your work and make sure it's complete and ready to go. And doing this will help foster motivation for our group members to put forth their best effort and to foster a sense of accountability within our group members to accomplish the work at hand. The next principle that we'll be going into is document control. So when we're collaborating with others in our group, it's very important that we find a way to keep track of who is making changes and what version of the document that they're working on. We want to make sure that our group members aren't working on an outdated version of the document that's already been edited and corrected. We want to make sure we're using the most up-to-date version of the document that we can so that we're putting forth our best effort and that making sure that everyone is on the same page. One important principle is that the final editor of the group should be able to make changes to the final document that is intended to be submitted to the professor. Ways to help with document control. Here's a few different avenues that we can use. We can track the changes function in Microsoft Word, or you can even print off a hard copy and and give it to your group members where they can go in and make their own notes and hand it back to you, and you can manually edit it that way. Or you can use other services like Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Docs, or even wikis. Here's a little checklist that I found at the end of the chapter in our textbook. If you want to pause the video and look over that, I would highly recommend it because I think it's a really good goes through a lot of good things. I mean, in aviation, we're all about checklists. So take a moment, look over this, and I think if we follow this checklist, it will help our group project go a little bit more smoother. Anyways, that's my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found it insightful and helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them below in your responses, and I'll be more than happy to respond to your questions. And here is the works cited that I used for this project.